Hello and welcome to the Gojenn podcast. I am Gojenn, your hostess. Today is May 20th, Sunday, and this is episode 153. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you have decided to. I've got some knitting and some crochet. I'll tell you about some books I've been reading. We've gone camping. What do I have planned for future yarny projects? Stuff is getting ready to happen, like the Stash Dash. If you're not on Ravelry, or if you don't watch the Knit Girls, and that's with 3 L's, I'm sorry, GIRLLLS, Knit Girls podcast on YouTube. Stash Dash is a 3-month-long attempt to work from stash. Use up as many meters, because it's like a 5K. Can you use up a 5K worth of yarn? And so it's about using your stash. So I'll talk about that more when I talk about my yarny stuff. Things that have happened is we've gone camping. We went camping like last weekend to Lake Reedsville, which is in Reedsville, North Carolina, and we really enjoyed ourselves there. It's just a very small campground, and while everybody else was really hot, it wasn't that hot there where we were kind of in the woods with a canopy of trees, and I just had a ball. So now that we're home, this is our in-between weekend, because next weekend we're going camping again. This time we're going to Oak Hollow Campground in High Point, North Carolina. So I live in Danville, Virginia, which is right on the state line. Like, here's Danville, here's Virginia, here's North Carolina. So a lot of things in North Carolina are closer to us than a lot of the things in Virginia. So we kind of feel like we're bistatual. So we're looking forward to that next weekend. I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Trying to see, I'm going to tell you what I'm reading, what kind of yarn projects that are coming up. And so let me start with some things that I have just begun. These are, they're called hand mittens. And this is some Knit Picks Felice yarn in this is the toucan colorway. That's pretty good, purple, blue, yellow. And this is my little double point needle cozy that I got from Ming Mao. She has an Etsy shop, Rain Barrel. So I am always worried that my knit projects on double pointed needles are going to come off the needle altogether. And so I really like this. And this is my, it is a mitten, but it is worked the same way you would work a sock. So it's exactly the way you'd work a sock until you get to the thumb. So this will be the cuff, and then this is going to come down and be the hand of the mitten. I really enjoy this. Once I have gotten the cast on going, that I find that to be the most fiddly, uncomfortable thing, casting on in the round with sock yarn. Ugh. And you know, everything else says, don't get them twisted. Just twist them back. Geez, what's the big no? Okay. Once I finally got them cast on, it's just been a breeze. I don't enjoy purling, so I was really glad to get out of the ribbing, which is a 2x2 rib. And so now I'm just going to knit. Knit, 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 knit. This yarn is incredibly soft for sock yarn. I'm kind of used to some of the other wool sock yarns. Patton's Croy, not soft. Very usable and durable sock yarn, but not soft. This stuff, this is soft enough to be against your face. So I will definitely be using this again. And the way it works, see, it's got 2 snaps. You just put your DP ends in there and then snap the snaps there. Now, no matter what happens to it in your bag, it's not going to come off the needles, and that is wonderful for me. It's such peace of mind. Knitting is so different from crochet. In crochet, you can take your hook out, change hooks, no big deal. It doesn't really affect your project. So long as you draw up a loop, it's going to stay there. You won't lose stitches, nothing. But with knitting, that is an entirely different situation. Another reason crochet is better than knitting. This, is the opinion of the podcaster, not necessarily shared by anybody else. But I wanted to show you those. I just got them cast on this week, and they're going to be a continuing project until they're done. I'm also working on a sock yarn blanket of sorts. Not really a blanket. It's going to hopefully be a pillow cover. And this is a square that I did. This is the Spring Fling pattern. You see those nice little arched, curved things? That makes this pattern really enjoyable to work. I'm just using some scraps, and these are scraps of minis that I had. This one, the pattern name is Squaring the Big Circle. So it's the granny circle that comes out and then turns into a square. And then I have this wee little square. So those, I'm planning to take them with us when we go camping next weekend to Oak Hollow Campground in High Point, North Carolina. I'm going to take those and try to maybe join some together just to see what size piece I get. I have a pillow that like a 14-inch pillow form that I would like to cover with these squares. So I just want to see what it's like. Okay. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, and I hope you do, I hope you'll go by and follow me on Instagram. I will follow you back so long as you have a public profile there. That's where I usually post. As soon as I have a finished project, I will put it there. If something is really pretty or not so pretty, I will post it there. Something happens, I'll post it there. We have had a week of rain, and I have to keep telling myself that the rain is what washes the pollen out of the trees. It's what April rains bring May flowers. We're in May, and we're having a lot of rain for June flowers, I suppose. But when I came home from work this Friday, I went through some deep water, and apparently I have hurt my car. So we're going to have to take it to a shop and hope that it will be able to be repaired. So, and I'll try to put some pictures of that at the little slideshow at the end as well. So because that was really sad. I love my car very much. It's a 96 Honda Civic, and it's just a perfect car for me. Perfect. And I don't want anything to be wrong with it. Something that is coming up in the Yarniverse, if you are on Ravelry, and if you happen to watch the Knit Girls podcast, that's Knit Girls with 3 L's, GIRLLLS. They sponsor a big event. Again, it's an online event, so it's kind of make-believe. called Stash Dash. It starts May 25th and goes through August 27th this year, I believe. And that is when one of the hosts, Lala, or Laura, is out of school as a school teacher librarian. So they just encourage you to set a goal. And it's kind of like running a race, a 5K, which is 5,000 meters, a 10K, 20K. I think I will join up, and my goal will be to use 3,000 meters. As long as I'm having to spend so much time at work, I am going to stick with the 3. Maybe if I ever get to retire, I will go with some of those higher meters, but not yet. And so any object finished in the month or after May 25th, you can count. And you can count all of the yardage, even if all you did at the end was one last row on a blanket. You can count all of the yardage into meters for the entire blanket. So you can find them on YouTube and on Ravelry. They have a group on Ravelry, and that's where you can find out more about Stash Dash if you're interested. I'd love to hear your goals if you think you might try to play along. Sign-ups don't officially start until the 25th, but that's when I will be joining in and keeping track of the number of meters of yards that I complete during that time frame. I'm looking forward to it. Thinking about a blanket. I definitely wouldn't put that pillow together. I won't sew the last seam until Stash Dash begins. So that's that. I am still playing in the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup. This month is May. A new term started May 1st. I am not doing a big project like my owl that I have done in previous terms in Harry Potter House Cup. And I just sometimes I feel kind of lost without that big, huge project that's always looming over my shoulder saying, work on me, work on me. Because now I'll just kind of do what I want to do for a change. And it's so lightening my load. I just have so much fun. Well, gee, I could do this or I could do that. So I'm having all kinds of fun thinking about, I've got those mittens I want to work on, maybe a baby blanket. There's always a need for a baby blanket, some hats. I can crank out crochet way faster than I can knitting, so I would imagine that everything except those mittens is going to be crocheted. It's just so much faster. So for reading, I am listening to the first in the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. This book is The Wizard's First Rule. I've just been enjoying it. It's just been going along kind of, it's an epic quest, really bad guy, kind of like the Lord of the Rings. And you know who the good guy is, and you know who the bad guy is. And was just reading along, a chapter ends, and then it starts up, and I don't know what they're talking about. Oh no, now we're seeing things from the bad guy's perspective. I don't like that. He's creepy. But I'm going to keep reading because I want to make sure they get rid of him. He's yucky and mean and cruel. So I'm enjoying that. I'm listening to that as an Audible book. And then I am reading on the Kindle. The title is The Boy Who Stole from the Dead, and that is the second in the series by Orest Stelmach. And I am enjoying that. I enjoy the writer's style. he includes all kinds of cultural tidbits. And I'm sure to him they're not tidbits, they're just everyday life. But to me, it's fascinating to see how the characters who grew up with immigrants from the Ukraine, because that's where all this is mainly happening. It's just fascinating to see the culture and the customs. So I'm enjoying that a lot as well. I haven't read a whole lot on that, but you can tell that these are all things that are going to happen while I'm camping. So Stash Dash begins while I'm camping. Looking forward to it. So I think that's all I have. I do have some, like I said, I'm going to do a little slideshow or whatever at the end and show you some still pictures. The water was, did I tell you I ran through deep water? This is like my second or third time recording, so I forget if I've already told you this. But anyway, I went through some deep water, which was a result of backed up storm drains. Friday afternoon I did, and it has messed up my car. She cut off, I got towed out of the water, and now she just won't keep going. And she's a 96 Honda Civic, and I love her, so I don't want anything to be permanently wrong with her. But anyway, we'll show you some pictures of stuff floating in the floorboard of my car. The water was so deep inside my car that my butt got soaking wet because the water was coming up. So when I opened the doors, water just poured out. So if you send me good thoughts, please send them good thoughts to my little Honda, that she will be okay. I think that is all that I have. I think I may try to send a little bit of a podcast episode from the campground next weekend. We're told that we will have Wi-Fi while we're there, so why not? I miss talking to y'all if I skip a Sunday, so we'll see how it goes. I hope that you will like and subscribe to the podcast. I get statistics every week on the viewers and everything, and it's only about a third of my viewers are subscribers. So I really hope that you will give me a try and subscribe so that you'll be sure and know when the next time that I have something wonderful to share will be. I don't want you to miss it. So until I see you next time, I wish you nothing but love and laughter. Okay, let's see how this little program works with the slideshow. This is going to be a close-up of some of those blanket squares, and you can see how that one's got a little stellina in it, so it was sparkly. There's that one. And like I said, that's the fiddliest thing there ever was, casting on in the round on DPN's sock yarn. Blah. My art station while we were camping, I had my watercolors and my markers. Just had the best time. I did some water painting on these postcards, and then kind of did the watercoloring in the background so that then I can go back and finish the insides or the detail part with markers. But the watercolor background is so much better. I really, really enjoy it. That's some Zentangling. When we went camping, this is the way the dogs are always looking at us, like, are we there yet? Watching my husband have some fried chicken and wondering if they were going to get a bite. This is Friday afternoon on my way home from work, just looking at the river, which was really up. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the floor well, and water was in it that deep when the garage folks saved me and towed me out of the water. And that's my little car being worked on. So Thanks for watching. You can find me as gojenn on Instagram and Ravelry. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much.